Hey everybody, this is TJ Watkins, author of The Shift, Moving from Victim to Explorer to Yourself. Welcome to day 6 and week 2. We are having a phenomenal time. I am so happy that you're still with me. Today we are going to discuss personal responsibility. Now when I say the word personal responsibility, people literally start leaving the room. It is one of those topics that everybody thinks that they are assuming taking personal responsibility for outcomes in their life. But when you look closer, you see how very little personal responsibility they do in fact take. So what is personal responsibility? Personal responsibility is an attitude where you are accepting everything that has happened in your life, that you had a hand in it. And I know that's going to be very hard for most of you to actually grasp, because this is like getting jolted out of a victim mind. So let me explain, because it's best explained by using the negative. Are you still blaming other people for what is happening in your life? If you are, then guess what? You're not taking personal responsibility. You probably have no clue in seeing your hand in creating the very outcome that you're complaining about. Are you still creating circumstances in your life that you absolutely do not want to? Then you have not explored how you are doing it. Therefore, no personal responsibility. Personal responsibility means I am exploring deep my culpability in creating the outcomes in my life. And when you do that, your life will change in a fundamental way. It will change the self-judgment inner dialogue to self-praising inner dialogue, and a more valuing of you dialogue. You will look into the mirror and you will start seeing what is absolutely right with you and not what is wrong with you. When you make a mistake, you don't go off, what a stupid fool I've been, I'm so dumb, my mother was right. No, you go, it's just a mistake. Your reaction to things is way more balanced. Most people, when it comes to personal responsibility, will negate that responsibility. They'll literally outsource it. They'll let someone else carry the burden of it, when it is in fact their responsibility. Now let's look at a few things that you are responsible for. You are responsible for your emotional space, your mental space, right? If anything in that space is going offline or crazy, then you are responsible for that. That emotional mental space is then going to turn into a dialogue. So you have to be responsible for the words that you use. And even when you are very responsible with the words you use, you will still scrape the wounds of other people. It is just the way it is. People will find what you say offensive, and they will be rubbed the wrong way. Even when you mean it in the right way, even if it's coming from the right place, you will touch their woundedness. And therefore you will have to take responsibility even for when that happens. The next thing is your behavior. If there are certain behaviors that you know is not in your interest or well-being, then you are responsible for taking charge of those behaviors by exploring them and seeing actually what drives them, because they will be driven by deeper things. So personal responsibility is literally the door to freedom. Freedom from externalizing your power. When you step into personal responsibility, you become empowered. You no longer have adopted a learned helplessness identity. And a learned helplessness identity looks like this. Oh well, it happens to everybody. You know, it's just my luck. People have the craziest sayings for these things. but they do not have amazing saying for taking personal responsibility. In fact, how personal responsibility works is that most people will avoid it, and they will transfer that personal responsibility onto someone else. And that someone else will make that outcome different. And they will, in fact, use some mystical force as the reason for why that has happened. There's no mystical force when you're just using other people to get what you want. That is a conscious or unconscious mind pattern. So, if you really want to blow the gates of your life and experience some real personal power, I invite you to go on an exploration one step at a time. Here's the step. Can you just stop blaming everyone and everything for what has taken place in your life? If you can do that and practice that for today, tomorrow, and the next year, I promise you, your life will be fundamentally different 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 9 months from now. But I must warn you, this is going to be difficult if you've been rewarded for being not responsible. So, I want to thank you for listening today and wish you an amazing day. Until we meet again, cheers.